even though it's the beginning of the year, we are not starting from scratch. So I will try to compound on what I already have that is going well, and at the same time I'm trying to improve what is not going that well. One of the things that started going well last year was my I've learned that I need to get my nervous system regulated, calmed down, in order to be able to be more productive. And by productive, I mean to do the things that I want to do. And it wasn't intentional, that knowledge. It was because I wanted tools to be able to be productive. It wasn't because I found it in a completely uncorrelated video with productivity. It had nothing to do with productivity. But I realized that that's what I needed. I needed to be calm. And I never knew before what that meant until I watched that video. And that video showed me that being calm means being safe. When we feel safe, we feel calm. So for a few weeks, I started working on doing the things that make me feel safe. That meant, in a way, that I stayed away from people, and I went on exploring that, and I realized, okay, I need to stay away from people because I don't know how to have boundaries around people, or I don't know how to enforce my boundaries to people. And now that I know that, I can now go on into learning and improving my boundaries, because I thought I did have them, but apparently I don't. Well, I don't have them enough to feel safe. They aren't enough to keep me safe. And that's something I'll have to be working on. The other things that don't make me feel safe are behaviors I have towards myself. One of them is mistreating me, so to speak, by not doing the basics. What are the basics for me? The first and most important of them is getting the dishes done. Not that I have to do the dishes every day, but not keep them in the sink. And I haven't done the dishes in the past 2 days, but I was going to yesterday. Then I got out of that mood and I left them in the sink. So now, today, I have to take them out of the sink, do the dishes, tidy up the counters, and only then I'll be able to start meal planning and meal prepping for the week. But the point I want to make here is, I used to think, I don't even know if it was anxiety I felt or not, but I do realize that whenever or ever since I started to feel safe, I started to do the things that I wanted to do without even thinking about it. I started to just do them. I mean, the effect I wanted, which is I want to do something, I go do it, started to happen. Whereas before, it was I want to do something, but I can't do it. Why can't I do it? I was always in here. And now I know to be calm for me doesn't mean it has to be the same for everybody. I don't even know if it would mean the same thing for me a few months ago or a few years ago. But now, for me, to be calm means to feel safe. And I've been doing the most I can to feel safe. That means in the way I deal with others, in the way I allow others to deal with me, allow or don't allow others to deal with me, including knowing when I can or can't enforce my boundaries and don't even be around people. But also the way I treat myself, also the way I I keep my word to myself. Although I've noticed that I'm more prone to keep my word to myself when I am calm, when I feel safe, than when I'm not. When I feel attacked, everything feels like a threat. And that attack doesn't necessarily mean an attack. It just means that I'm fired up. I'm in that fight or flight response. And that's not good. I'm in that fear, either of failure or of success, but I'm that fear area. And I gotta learn how to recognize whether it's fear of failure or fear of success, but also that if I am in that fear, it means I don't feel safe. What am I doing that makes me not feel safe? And what can I do that makes me feel a little bit safer? And as I feel a little bit safer, I start behaving, so to speak, better towards myself. And the better I behave towards myself, the more easily I get to do the things that I want to do. Not the big, grandiose thing, but the tiny ones, the ones that I look at and think, "Oh my, this is so easy. Why can't I do this?" And as I do those, I get even more a positive reinforcement to do others a little bit harder and a little bit harder. I'm not doing everything. I'm not doing all, and I don't expect to. I don't expect to. In the first 3 months of this year, I don't expect to have my life all figured out. Not even in the end of the year. I don't think my life will ever be figured out. Those who have that ability, oh, I don't think I'll ever have. But to, I hope to be at a level that I can sustain the nice treatment to myself and the ability to keep myself safe from and to myself. Because what I've noticed is when I am in that state, the ability to enforce boundaries to others is easy because I don't even enforce it to them. I just either withdraw myself from them or don't engage, or it's like there's a glass wall between me and them, and they are throwing water at me, but the water just hits the glass and falls to the ground. It doesn't hit me because my ability to keep myself safe acts as that shield, and I'm not bothered because I know it won't hit me. And yes, they may throw an axe at it, and that will shatter it. But most people don't walk around with axes, and if they do, I will, in that fight or flight thing, I will go to the fight because I don't instigate, but I don't run away if I feel threatened. One thing is to see a threaten at the far and you're like, oh look, I don't want to get in that space. Another one is to be threatened in the place, in the moment, and you could run, but only to be chased. You don't want to be chased. If you're there and you're getting attacked, you're gonna react. Well, you don't. Blah. I do. I do. You do whatever you want, but I react. So, and I guess most people know that. I guess most people, even those with an axe, know that. One thing is to threaten and see how much they can push, and something else is to bring out an axe. They know it can be used against them, so they usually don't. All this to say that today I'm going to do the dishes from the past 2 days before I start meal prepping, and which is the beginning of my system for cooking, which you can follow up in the Learning How to Cook channel. I'm not going to to tell the system. I think even myself, I'm still wrapping my head around it. It's too much, it has too many layers, it's too much to be spoken. So I will just do the things that belong to the system. And when I have all the things done, and I'll show them as I do them, then I'll be able to talk about it, and to as I talk about the system itself, the whole of it, I can then indicate videos where I explain what I mean by that, and it will be easier to understand.